Hey ratbags, it's Jade. I'm back again with another grounded video. Even more details about Fall 1.0. Adam and Alex sat down as part of the Xbox Bethesda extended showcase and spoke a lot about the development of Grounded, hitting the big milestones and the fact that we haven't seen all of the boss fights. There's going to be much more added as Fall 1.0. So do leave a like if you find it useful, and make sure you subscribe for the best in grounded and crafty survival game news and gameplay guides. Let's go. So yeah, they did speak quite a bit for like 3-4 minute section basically about the success of Grounded, how it hit 5 million and it blew their minds, then 10 million players had played it. Again, this isn't a common occurrence with Xbox games, past games. To get that many players, it means you've got something special, and that's what exactly Grounded is.
And like seeing some of the cool things, like the first time we added like the spider into the yard, seeing the reactions of people in the office, like even like jump scares, like people screaming.
So a lot of what they did speak about we have seen from other interviews, but it was still nice hearing Adam gush about the game and features that they added and how development really got going. But of course you lot just want to know what's happening with 1.0. I did say in my analysis video that isn't clearly everything that's going to be there. We're going to be seeing so much more, and as I've shown you over and over again, and I will keep reminding you, the leaks show there's a bunch more bosses, a bunch more creatures, a bunch more stuff going to be in the 1.0 full version. And Adam all but confirms that today, saying how many other boss fights there's going to be. Lots!
You know, the Mantis is just a little tease of one of the new boss fights, but there's more to come, right? Like potentially many boss fights that we have planned for the full release of Grounded.
So hopefully that stops the Chicken Littles of the world crying, oh, this game isn't going to have loads of content in it. It's going to have a bunch of content, and Adam also clarified with IGN a little later in another interview that they are going to work on Grounded post-launch for sure. As long as he is allowed to, they've got plans already by the sounds of things, and yeah, he is determined to keep adding content to Grounded. Just like they supported the last games they've worked on, like Pillars of Eternity. And they also said basically a massive thank you to their community. The feedback that they've received absolutely has made Grounded what it is today in terms of the content that's gone into the game and then that crucial info coming back from players.
That's probably one of the big successes of the game, is how close we work with the community and take all their feedback and suggestions. I think it's super rad.
For a game developer too, that is a huge thing, just to get people's feedback constantly of what they're liking, what they're not liking, and all those adjustments just make a much better game at the end of the day.
And apparently there are surprises that none of us have dreamt up so far yet, as the devs had a little joke thinking about our reaction.
There's a lot of surprises, there's a lot of you know, things that I think players aren't going to expect. And I
think I know what you're talking about. I cannot wait to see players' reactions.
What the hell does that mean? We must know now. I can't wait, guys. I'm hyped. It's been a mad weekend. I've been working my arse off across both of my channels, covering Ark, Grounded, Valheim and other gaming news, guides and gameplay. But Grounded has absolutely got me the most hyped and excited about its release in September. So in terms of gameplay footage, there wasn't much new shown, although it did seem like the Mantis gameplay was extended a little bit, and there's definitely a few extra little cutscenes here or there. So that's what we're going to focus on now, just taking a look at the Mantis boss fight and seeing the size of it and its arena, which we do get a little extended look at. So clearly it's a big bad boy, although maybe not as big as I'd imagined at first. It's about double the size of a human player. Obviously when it stands up, it's much bigger. And again, lots of things changed, but when I did find them leaked files, it said it had a stun kind of attack using pollen. So when it maybe does this jump, it's going to release a whole bunch of cloud and dust that could stun you, as you can see from the players there. And we get a full free circle of this arena, and it's definitely a arena now. It's not going to be just running around or press a button or give something and it pops out of the ground or underneath the actual bush. And it so feels like the Mantis is a ninja, just blowing a cloud of dust and appearing from nowhere. And I re-emphasise once more, they absolutely said they're going to be supporting the game as much as they possibly can. So I think that translates as a lot of the stuff we saw Adam talk about maybe at PAX East or other Q&As where they've said it's on their list. It may not necessarily all come in 1.0, but definitely in the future they're going to think about that stuff and redoing it and adding it and stuff. So we know that whether it is one of them things that's on their list, but maybe not as high priority as some of the other stuff. Likewise, the idea of having some sort of mount system in the game, again, is on the list, but it may not necessarily be for 1.0. Now, I didn't mention them two items explicitly in this little talk, but it's the vibe that I'm getting. We're going to see a whole bunch of content with 1.0, and then we'll get even more in the months, maybe even years afterwards. So great stuff. I'll be there every step of the way. I'm going to leave you with the full extended interview now so you can hear their exact words for yourself. Check out my channel on Friday. Hopefully my 100 days will be going live of Grounded. I'll see you ratbags later.
What can players expect from the 1.0 launch of Grounded?
The big one, of course, is going to be a complete game, and that means story, right? You know, from beginning to end, you can play through, you know, why are you here? Who put you here?
Yeah, exactly.
And how are you going to get home? And I think those are like the big questions that people are asking about Grounded. Originally, we really just wanted to make a survival game. And one of the jokes was, hey, what if we did backyard survival? Everyone was like, yeah, that's a very unusual idea, but I think there's something there. One of the things that we did early on was establish the art style of Grounded. Things started like coming to life as we did the initial prototypes and like seeing some of the cool things, like the first time we added like the spider into the yard, seeing the reactions of people in the office, like even like jump scares, like people screaming. The team is very small. It's the smallest team I've ever worked on at Obsidian. I wanted everyone to be able to participate on the design side of things. So I said everyone is a designer on the team. And I think that extends into our community and how we're building the game in game preview and early access.
That's probably one of the big successes of the game is how close we work with the community and take all their feedback and suggestions. I think it's super rad.
For a game developer too, that is a huge thing, just to get people's feedback constantly of what they're liking, what they're not liking, and all those adjustments just make a much better game at the end of the day. We're at that point now that the yard's getting finished, and now we can play through the story. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of you know, things that I think players aren't going to expect. And I
think I know what you're talking about. And I cannot wait to see players' reactions. I know a lot of players are just waiting for the story to be finished to finally jump into the game. People who played the game previously are also like holding out for more content. I think it's just going to pull a lot of people back in and gain a lot of new players. So Adam, we have the Broodmother from last year. It was like our first big boss. And then we came out with a bunch of mini bosses like
Termite King
and the assistant manager. But in this trailer, we're showing players the Mantis. What can they expect from this?
So we're super excited to finally show off the Mantis. I know that's been a big ask from players that they want to see a praying mantis in the game.
They've been asking for this for a long time. Do we have anything else that the players can get excited about?
You know, the mantis is just a little tease of one of the new boss fights, but there's more to come, right? Like potentially many boss fights that we have planned for the full release of Grounded. There's a lot more secrets and other things to uncover.
When we reached 5 million players, that was already super crazy. And then we hit the next milestone of 10 million players still being Xbox.
Doubling it, right?
Yeah, in Xbox Game Preview Early Access.
That just goes to show that we have a fantastic game. Everyone's just so surprised at like how much Grounded has grown.
I just hope that players and the community understand how important they are and impactful on this game with us.
You know, we're so thankful for everyone's support along the way. It's been an amazing journey, and we're finally almost at the finish line, right?
Yeah.
And I think we wouldn't be here without our amazing community and all of the fan support.
I agree. Best community ever.
Yeah.